Listen, I don't know about you, but I started a business so I could do this. Travel, be with friends, be with family, create memories. I didn't do it to sit at the computer all day. I didn't do it so that I could just be in countless emails and Zoom meetings. I did it to create opportunities for myself and opportunities for others. So listen, if that's something that interests you, enjoying time with your friends, being out and about, definitely drop by Erica Williams' Classy Climb blog. Check out the YouTube channel. We've got over 2,000 videos of free information that's actually changed people's lives. People actually post their new job over at the channel. What's up, everybody? Sorry, this is your Erica Classy Climb blog. You know, we're pre-recording these things, be doing what they do. I'm not going to be here forever. I have some errands to run today. Big hair, don't care. Very big. Let's get into it. So you have 6 months to a new you. Student loans, bad decisions, and turnaround mastery. Many people will say, well, just 6 months isn't enough. But I tell you, 6 months is more than enough because a lot of people don't have a game plan for how they want to change their life or what they want their life to look like. They just know they hate their current life. And so I'm going to show 2 or 3 examples of why I'm even going through this breakdown, because it's important. And a lot of people are here, right? 40s, 50s, 60s, people are needing a turnaround. So let's go with this one first. Again, I worked in the financial aid office. I really want y'all to understand, y'all not going to convince us of your foolishness. We know what subsidized loans are, unsubsidized, and Pell Grants and scholarships. If you went to a school that was out of your price range, your parents were supposed to pay that for you. I know no one wants to hear that, but that is actually the truth. So let's get into it. This girl's going viral for this.
How is that? So as it turns out, the student loans that I've been paying $1,500 a month for 2 years have a 17% interest rate. So what I thought I've been paying off for all this time, I'm actually, I owe more than what I started off with. What the fuck? So, Jeff Bezos, this would be a really cool fucking time to Venmo me, bro. I owe $90,000 and I didn't even spend that much on school. Any rich person, please tap in.
Okay, immediately I'm done. Because I worked in financial aid office and I already know that anything that's 17% interest is a private loan. Subsidized and unsubsidized loans, they're going for 2, 3, 4, 5%, at most 6, 7% with the current rates. So when I hear this, that means you took a private loan. That means you went to a school you could not afford. That means your parents did not have the money to afford it. That also means that you did not take the time to apply for scholarships or other opportunities after school, such as being a teacher, such as other things, to pay it off. Now, she was probably living with her parents the past 2 years in order for her to be paying $1,500 every month. Now, let's just go there. $1,500 every month for 2 years. She could have been putting that money in the stock market on a very simple dividend of like a 10% dividend, then took a loan out against that and paid that debt down. Just gonna go there. The more you get into the financial industry, the more simplistic things become that you hear commonly. But yeah, let's keep going. It says, okay, the math, this monthly interest, monthly payment, only $225 was going to her principal. All that she paid $210,000 for 12 years straight. Let's see. Right? That's a lot of money. A bank would never give a $90,000 business loan to an 18-year-old, very little credit, very little service, but it's okay handing them out $90,000 student loan because you can't file bankruptcy something like a business loan. So it's literally no risk to the bank. That's why I'm not a big fan of college. And apparently the government doesn't care about educated society. There's zero support like first world countries. Again, all this is incorrect. This is incorrect, y'all. Just these are simple things to check. Engineers, sales, marketing, you're not paying $200K for that. You're not. Most of these degrees are not worthless. This is what they're going to say, but they're not. The problem is you're going about it the wrong way. When I see parents who are like, when their child's in 11th grade in high school and they're like, we got to get some scholarships. We got to go to the school that's going to pay the most. We got to cover your books, those are parents who are serious. But unfortunately in our society, we have a lot of parents who are just like, oh, they're going to go. You better figure it out. No, that's not. You might as well send that kid to the military, right? But that right there makes them isn't impressive to say to their friends as much as my kid's going to so-and-so. Kid's not graduating. Kid's not doing anything. Kid's not finishing. Okay. So some of the things you say here: go to trade school, learn through courses, get certifications online, start a side hustle, offer home services, watch lectures on YouTube. Again, all these things are great, but what happens is most people, parents, again, we're literally the millennials were the precarious society, got PhDs, got degrees, no money, right? Genteel poverty is when your family looks like they're doing well, but they're not. They look like they're middle class, but your parents can't get you a job. I just want to make that very clear. I've been saying that several videos in a row, but I'll keep saying it. If you come out of college today and go to your parents and say, "Hey, I need a job," and they can't call one of their friends to get you a job, they can't create you a job. They can't, "Hey, here's a lawnmower and a pickup truck and get to hitting the streets." They can't even do that, or you don't want to do it too. That also too. They're not middle class. And this is what the awakening of so many people are awakening. Oh, I went to a real estate event a couple days ago, and I was looking at all the new people in the room, and I said, "Man, it's a lot of new people at this event." And immediately, what I realized is the people who in 2019, 2020, 2021 were thinking about doing real estate, thinking about building, thinking about doing, they've either done it or not by now. It's been 5 years. There's a new batch of people coming. This is why when I tell y'all about businesses and business ownership, that it doesn't matter. Every couple of years there'll be a new batch of people. Every year at the boat party, there's a different batch of people at the boat party, right? When I was doing them. And I knew that because just the way businesses is cyclical. People come in and out. They'll watch these videos. They'll go do something with it, and then a few years later, they'll watch somebody else's videos. That's just the nature of business. Now, people were complaining earlier about different trucking companies and the difference between, essentially, they have a lot of these foreigners who are, trying to say it a nice way, they're driving these trucks, they're getting driver's license in these various states, and they're getting these car wrecks, and they're like, "We're going to stop that company." And I laugh when I hear this because so many people really, with like their full hearted chest, "Yeah, we're going to stop these companies." And I just laugh because I go, that's not how this works. If you know a trucking company, like a lot of y'all don't, but if you know, they'll get in a truck accident at 11 o'clock this morning, a terrible one. And by 2 p.m. this afternoon, they've already started transferring their assets, their name to another shelf corporation by 2 p.m. Ask me how I know. I've had it happen to me. Our trucks got in accidents. Different things happen with the company I was working with. And it's like when I went to go, by the time it was a week later, and we're dealing with the insurance companies and the lawyers, they were like, "That company is not out of business." And I said, "What do you mean?" Like, we were working on them. "No, they're out of business." I said, "No, they're not." He's like, "They've already filed the motion that they're out of business. They've already switched over everything in bank accounts." I remember I was like, "I'm going to sue these people. I'm going to do all this stuff." And the dude met with me and was like, "Who are you going to sue? What are you going to sue?" Because we've already bought another ship corporation that's like 10 years old. And at the time I was like, I knew exactly what he was trying to say to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, try your best. Good luck. Good luck. Because the way banking works, the way banking works, the way LLCs work, when y'all sit here and struggle for 4 or 5 years to buy one LLC, I just laugh because I'm like, people buy these like every afternoon. And then they just go on to the next, and they don't even, it don't even matter. And so I just always try to stress that to y'all because I don't want y'all to sit here and be kind of depressed or whatever. So let me see here. Okay, let me see here. Man, can I get to it? When I be trying to show y'all something, it just be making me mad. Let me see if I can get it like this. Hold on. Well, I'll play it. Let me just play this. Then I'll also play y'all another bad decision clip. Sorry about that. Sorry that's taking me so long to get what I was trying to get to y'all. Here we go.
from the administration who's saying, all right, we got breaking news from the administration who's saying they're officially revoking the license of the business who employed the illegal aliens who unalived the 3 people in Florida by doing an illegal U-turn in a semi-truck, okay? They also say they've been working with the federal government and they are pulling the company's license to do business because you cannot employ someone who cannot read the road signs. This is from Governor Ron DeSantis. All right, we got breaking news from the administration who's saying...
All right, so why does this not matter? And I know y'all gonna think, well, Erica, that it's important. They got in a car accident. The family died. This is all terrible. It is, and I agree. It's very terrible. That's just not how business works. Companies switch LLCs, logos all the time. They go in and out. They buy bulks of LLCs and just switch to the next one. It happens all the time. And I just want y'all to understand, like, if you're looking for justice there, you're not going to get it. So here's another one. This one is what we call bad decisions, adulthood bad decisions. And then we'll get on to the mastery. Here we go. Boom.
Before it, no house, no savings, no career that I'm proud of. I'm pouring everything that I have into this channel because I've got nothing else. And if you're in your 20s or even your early 30s and you think you've got time, I'm telling you right now, you don't. I wish I had someone in my life when I was younger, someone who actually cared enough about me and was smart enough to show me how life really worked, how women really operated, and what I actually needed to focus on. I didn't have that. I was getting all of my ideas about love and success and women from movies and idiots my own age who didn't know anything at all. So there was no sense of urgency, no perspective, just vibes and dumb plans and this fantasy that everything would somehow work itself out. And it didn't. In my 20s, I thought I was, super deep and cool. And, because I had tattoos and, I knew some obscure bands and played drums. And I thought being different was a personality. I wasn't building anything real. I was just chasing sex and novelty, hooking up with women because I was addicted to the high, not the connection, just the rush. I spent more time crushing on church girls who didn't like me and hanging out at coffee shops and smoking cigarettes, drinking lattes and, going to hardcore shows. I did more of that than I did doing anything that would help me long term. At 23, I was playing ding dong ditch with my friends.
Yeah, you know what? There's a lot of guys that actually is in this place, and that's why we say that, the guys that know, as a 43-year-old man myself, as a guy that knows, and understand that most guys don't even start to get themselves together or come to the realization that they need to make a change if you're smart until your late 20s, early 30s, and then you got the rest of your life to recover. But he is right. You don't want to waste too much time. You want to dedicate yourself more to focusing on a grind and a hustle and a growth that will allow for you to be able to live the life that you want to live for the rest of your life, than to focus on women. The women come with it, and you don't want to waste no money or no time on that. And most guys, they don't get that. They're not going to understand that because they don't have anybody to push back against them in their life. The problem also, I'll say this, one of the biggest problems in the culture is that, and I'm talking about American culture, it's not black culture, white culture. A lot of guys are going through the same thing. One of the biggest problems with the culture is that it's also difficult to reach these young guys. I think one of the problems is that you got to have a lot or you got to be overly successful. But at the same time, once they caught up in whatever it is that they doing, they lust, they mindset or whatever, And I don't know if they think that they're going to live forever or that they're going to start to figure it out from a financial perspective later. You have to pour more into yourself, and you pouring in.
Okay. I think y'all get the gist of that one. Let me go here. People will say, well, Erica, you know, everybody makes mistakes. People coast. And again, what this guy just described in his video is he's 40. He's got a son out there. He's, you know, he don't have a house. But something Anton points out in the video is like, he's got Fortnite on in the background. He's got a video game on in the background. Like when you get disgusted enough of like your situation and how you're living, you will do a 180. Are we there? Is he there yet? Right? Just to say, hey, I'm 40 and I wasted my life. Again, this is why when y'all, when people go, Erica, man, gosh, you're just intense on getting certifications and changing your life and doing stuff in 6 months. It takes a long time. It only takes a long time if you allow it. When his guy wakes up and he's 40, I'm pretty sure his back feels different than when he was 20. So 40 is not over. I mean, you could live another 40 years. So you got time in theory. Right. But you could live another 20. I know multiple people now who have parents in their 50s and 60s who I'm showing my mom pictures of my friends' parents. And she's like, dang, what happened? Again, I'm just lucky my mom got to spend 20 plus years in the military. So she's running, jogging, taking care of her health. Even she has health issues in her 60s. But these people, parents are in their 50s falling apart. Knees, back, arms. Again, I'm telling you, I'm seeing these are they overweight? Not all of them are overweight. Some of them just skinny older guys, bad backs. And so to think at 40, I got another 40 years. I'm not going to lie to you. You may not have that. I would wish it for you. I would hope it for you. You saw Algernon Curry when he died, he had left a 2-year-old child behind. So imagine you're being a playboy your whole life and you left a 2-year-old behind. That's crazy. Right. And so you're talking to people who are thinking they have forever. Again, the same conversation here. When you see this is the wealth gap. You know, the top 1% are getting, the $15 million net worth. What are they doing? They're consistently buying and adding to their net worth. The bottom half is consistently partying, goofing off, coasting. Partying, goofing off, coasting, then get to 40, 50. Oh my God, I still got loans. I got the child support debt. Oh my God, what should I do? And so when I come on this channel, I say, hey, you can put $25 a day into Lending Club, into stocks, into Fundrise, into Ground Floor, and notes, getting 11 to 13% return on your money. Oh, that's not a lot of money, Erica. It's only not a lot of money if you don't put in a lot of money. This money is not coming from the sky. And this is where people are when it comes to credit cards. They want the credit cards to live a lifestyle they are not able to afford on their own. Instead of looking at the credit card and going, okay, can this be a business model? Can this be a lever to get me somewhere else? Wealth concentration. Now people say they're hoarding the wealth. They're not. Are you willing? Whenever I hear somebody say hoarding the wealth, I'll immediately look at where they live and go to in your neighborhood. Right? Wherever my mom lives, I look around, I see houses where the older person's leaving, or they're going to old folks' home, or their kids are getting ready to take over. I'm writing letters. I'm reaching out. Hey, would you like to sell that? Are you interested in selling that? I'm often buying lists, or when I drive by stuff, I'm seeing it. And that's going to be some of the fastest way some of y'all grow your wealth is what's currently around you. So these same people they're hoarding the wealth, but they don't want to buy investments. They don't want to take the next step in their life. They're going to wake up like that man at 40 or 50 or 60 and go, oh my God, things cost. And the most common stuff you're hearing right now online is all these older people starting YouTube channels and they're 60 and like Social Security isn't a lot. I only get like $1,800 a month. I can't live off that. And you're like, it was never meant for you to live off of though. Not long term. And it sure isn't keeping up with inflation. Let me go here. Let me go here. And someone says, well, Erica, what can they do? How can they change their life? How can they turn it around? The poor girl with the student loans, the poor guy over here who's in his 40s. And that's why I didn't want to make this video too long, because I beat it over and over again in the head about these. But this is truly where you are, okay? So depending on how radical a change you want for your life, 90 days to 6 months. The number one is environment. Groups, masterminds, conferences, common events. What do they say? What are common words? Where do they hang out at? What type of job do they have? What type of clothing? What area? Now, immediately you're going, Erica, you want me to stalk some people? Not necessarily stalk people. I just want you to completely redo your environment. Right. And for some of y'all, for some women, I need you to paint a room in your house. I need you to clear out some stuff, throw away some clothes. I need you to start writing down, what do you want? Your name could be Rebecca. What does Rebecca look like 5 years from now? What does Rebecca look like next year? It's important. Okay. So I put on the left, I kind of made a joke. Soft life girls, sorority, courtside seats, living, proximity, associations, tennis, golf, the right happy hours. Now on the left hand side, I'm just making it as a joke, but when women decide that they think they deserve the soft life girl life, they're gonna start get their nails, their toes done, they're gonna dress a certain way. What do? Some of them are already in a sorority, right? Or they join a sorority in college because they want to be around that certain type of lifestyle. Courtside seats. You'll notice this often at football games and basketball games. There are always women overdoing it. Butts about to fall out the bottom of the shorts, but they want you to see it at the courtside seats in the game. And somebody said, well, Erica, they must have money to be there. It could be credit cards, could be they own a business. We don't know. Could be an Instagram girl. We don't know. But they make sure they get themselves in proximity to what? Someone's vision, someone's sight with money. Why? Because people in those lower sections are paying what? Higher cost of money, courtside season tickets, all that good stuff. Okay. Living proximity. This is why you hear all these people saying, oh, I want to live downtown. I want to live downtown. And you go, for what? For what? What are you doing downtown? In Atlanta, they want to live in Midtown. They want to live downtown. For what? Again, they want to be in proximity to people they think have money. Okay, associations. What is the soft girl going to get associated with? Her local chapter stuff. Let's just go there. If she's a woman with kids, stuff with her kids, tennis and golf, to be again in a place with people with money and the right happy hours. Okay, so this is an example of a life redo. Right now, let's go to the right. If I was more focused on, okay, well, Erica, I moved to a new city and he changed my life. I want to start this business, landing pages, stacking outputs. What is stacking outputs? Are there 4 or 5 things you can do all month long that by the time you look over the course of the year, oh my God, I went to 50 of this or 40 of this or 30 of this, right? Day 30 to day 90, can you charge? When I put out the book, the 40 certificates you could get to get you a job, at least go hop into a temp agency. There's 4 temp agencies in the book. I need to add, there's 6 more, but temp agencies for tech people. And I'm sitting here go get the certificates. Go get them. It's like 3 hours. This is an hour. This is $30. Get you a certificate. Change your life. Be able to charge for what you're learning. Okay. Change something in the house. This is my biggest thing. I tell people, I don't care if you just buy all new sheets for your beds. I don't care if you just buy new coffee cups. I don't care if you just pick something different. Change something in your house. It's one of the number ones I always say. Or tell people change their office, change their desk. I went to one girl's house. She had painted this room green. It used to be a white bare room. Now it's kind of green to get rid of these thoughts on money and whatnot. I'm not going to get into that, flow of numbers. Change your refrigerator, change your grocery store, right? When I come visit my family and I put a bunch of hot teas and juices from the juice place here, Juice Land type place here, and I do a couple of stuff, they're just like, whoa. But they adjust. They drink the juices, they drink the hot tea, they use the honey I use, right? They drink the natural creamers I bring for the coffee. You change the environment. Whoever's most convinced wins. Who's ever most convinced wins. Are you convinced you want this change? Are you convinced you want this different type of life? Are you convinced? Are you tired and fed up and sick and tired? What do you call it? Tired of being sick and tired? I think that's what the old people say. Then you'll change. Happy hours. Now, I'm not going to say work yourself to death. I really don't believe in monk mode. There are seasons of life where people think they just go, if I'm going to isolate myself and work really hard, you're just going to burn out. Been there, done that. Been there, done that. And just if learning systems would have saved me a lot of headache. Okay. So been there, done that. Monk mode doesn't work. So schedule in the creativity, schedule in the fun. What do? I schedule in the happy hours. I schedule in the soccer event, the baseball event, the basketball event. I have season tickets to the girls UT basketball games. I have season tickets to the Dallas Mavericks. I'm about to have season tickets to another one just for business purposes, because I go and you can always add a +1 someone to join you in the event. Like, let's say, get season tickets for 2 or 3 or 4. Big thing that we used to do is buy 4 music concert tickets. If we couldn't get another couple to go, we'd sell the other 2 tickets. So it became a financial benefit, not just an extra set of tickets that we didn't use that day. This is something I had a client in Houston. If this is you, God bless you. They had a terrible breakup. They just felt lots of betrayal. And I told him, pack your stuff up and move across town. Don't leave Houston, but just live in another part of Houston, because Houston's so big. Same with Dallas, right? It gets small at the top, but my biggest thing to them was, like, I told them, go to a different church and move across town. And the way Houston traffic is, if you lived in Sugar Land and now you live in another part, you live in Katy, you're going to have a different church. You're going to have different places you go, different food places you eat at, different environments. Most people go within the 8-mile radius of where they live. This is why when someone tells me they live in New York and they doing this and that, and I know they don't own a home, I already know what time it is. I'm like, if you want better, just move again. Move to another part of New York. Okay, it's not that easy. I'm just telling you, like, new environment, new people. If you have a bad breakup and you live in somewhere like Dallas, even if you live in Austin, let's say you lived in South Austin all this time and you break up with somebody, I'm going to tell you to move to North Austin. I'm going to tell you go to a new church. I'm going to tell you do some new things, because what happens is y'all want to sit in the exact same churches, exact same family dinners, exact same everything, and expect a 180-degree life. It does not work. It will never work, because the force of average will bring you back down to what you're currently doing. And just for the example of that particular client, when I told them to move to this other part of Houston, they worked in the medical district. And I'm like, you're going to be around wealthier people, wealthier environment, nicer stuff. You'll be fine. Move over there and enjoy your life and keep working in a hospital setting. You're fine. New patterns, new surroundings, purge some stuff, get rid of some stuff. Toss out some shoes, toss out some clothes, toss it, purge it. Does it belong here in this new life? Because what people do is they'll go, well, maybe a little bit of this, a little bit. And I see a man and I'm like, go get 3 suits. Go put the money in to get the 3 suits and some different color shirts, so you can alternate and change it and change how you look and how you walk and how you appreciate yourself. I even tell that to myself now. I'd be like, okay, just purge that, get rid of a bunch of those shirts and get new shirts. I've been telling y'all, there's just like really silky champagne color shirt I just want the right cut, right fabric for it. And I may have to just get it custom made, like this other shirt I have. But at the end of the day, the way you're going to carry yourself in that particular champagne color, silky color shirt is going to be different than how you carry yourself in your workout t-shirt. And a lot of you are walking around in athletic wear all day and can't figure out why people aren't taking you serious, or randoms don't talk to you. You know what I mean? So again, environment matters. If this is good information, just put a 1 in the comments. Let me know if this is helping any of y'all. My goal when doing these videos is not to bore you to death or lecture you or tell you how to live your life. My goal ultimately is for you to get some change. Now, before I finish harping on this, I just want to show you this real quick. If you see, this is Myron Golden, you can look at it, how not to be destroyed by AI. Now, here's something you have to learn within yourself. When I talk about 2 to 5 year windows, if you look at the information age, was 1994 to 2003. All right. 1978 to 1994. You know what I mean? That was the tech age. 1950s to 1978 was a distribution age, outlets, moving things faster. 1700s to 1950s was industrial age. Machinery equaled wealth. Right? From 0 to 1700s was agricultural age. Right? From 2003 to 2008, that's the information and entertainment age. 2008 to 2021 is what? Partnerships. Right? Internet, you're partnering with YouTube to be here. You're partnering with Instagram to be on their platform. You're partnering with Google to send Gmail emails. You're partnering, whether you know it or not. But what's the common key here is these intervals of time are getting shorter. You know what I mean? From 1700s to 1950s, the industrial age. I mean, I've been going on a series about the Gilded Age, 1870 to 1890s. That was a 20-year period where it was like gangbusters money in America, where people were just starting up railroad companies and striking oil in Oklahoma. And just, it was the Wild West of money and times, while in parts of Europe, they were still sitting there dressing up like kings and queens and tutors and all this other stuff, right? Depending on where you were in the world, depending on what was your reality. A lot of y'all are living in America, but crying because you can't be a king in America, but you don't want to put in king energy. You don't want to grind and hustle. Many people are okay sliding into genteel poverty because they say, well, I didn't want to work that hard. Ain't no point in working hard. It doesn't reward you. These are all code words, dog whistles for people who are trying to cope with why life is not giving them what they want. Well, you know how women are. Well, you know how men are. Oh, girl, you know, I tried one time. And you're like, okay, again, all these things are cope. Oh, I didn't want to get married anyway. Marriage is for suckers. That's cope. Jeff Bezos getting married. All these rich people getting married. They're fine. The key underliner is I can't afford to have a wife that can stay home and not nag me about money because I don't make enough money. So I didn't want to get married anyway. And you know how these modern women are, right? That's what's happening. They want you submissive provider. That's what they want you to be, right? And so instead of being honest and saying, well, I just can't afford that right now. Same thing with housing. Oh, and who wants to buy a house? Who can buy a house in this market? Everyday people are buying houses. Is the market adjusted? Is it slower? Yes. Are there still people buying multifamilies in parts of Texas? Yes. Texas sale numbers are still way beyond other places. They're still going to have Y'all Street down there in Dallas. The stock market bros, when they get to Dallas, good luck, you guys, because they're going to run around all Texas buying up what they can. Now, you may say, well, the Texas rush was years ago. Whenever new money moves around, it needs somewhere to go. Money gets bored, but it don't sleep. It keeps moving around. So you see these times of windows keep getting shorter and shorter. So by the time, you know, in the 90s, you want to work on computers in the 2000s, depending on before this, 2008 massive crash. Did you get into computers? Now we have people sitting here from 2018 to 2019, 2020, 2022, 2023, all these years we've been talking about go get a tech job, go get a job. Oh, I'm finally going to do it. It's been 6-7 years. AI is trying to take over. I'm glad I didn't leave my job for tech. You were never going to leave your job. You weren't serious. Because it don't take 5, 6, 7 years for you to figure out it's time to do a pivot. It doesn't. It takes like 6 months. That's it. Then you're like, that's unacceptable. We're going to do this now. But you have to be fully committed to the change and fully committed to the turnaround, the mastery of turnaround of your life. Because what will happen is, again, like I told you the other day when I went to the real estate event, there are people in that room that started with that man at 2018. They've already made millions. So you're sitting here talking about the dip in real estate, and they're looking at you like, I'm still building. I'm still doing stuff. I'm still growing. What are you talking about? Now I just build a few multifamily. And then when the rates come back down, I'll build some more single family. I'll just switch back and forth because they've already started the process. So sitting on the sidelines, just trying to watch and watch. I've seen people do it. I've seen people talk about, again, I've talked about a friend we had. He had a great idea for an app. And we're like, you've been talking about this app for 10 years. You need to go see a lawyer. You need to go ahead and go. Take some action. He goes, sees the lawyer. Lawyer's like, man, I wish you'd came here like 6 months before, or it might have been a year. He was like, they've already passed a new law in Texas. You can't do that. So for 10 years, you've been talking about this app that could have been making money, doing stuff. And by the time the law came, you could have been active in community trying to press against it. But this isn't just on the business side. This is also on the personal. Let me go back over here. Let me go back over to here. Were y'all seeing this page when I was talking? Maybe not. You might have not saw it. Let me do this. It was this one. So this was the one I was talking about, the wealth gap, the age, the culture, 1700s, industrial age, digital age, all that stuff, distribution age, all that good stuff. Let me go back here. Let's go here. All right. So again, I'm joking using Soft Life Girls as an example, but it is an example. But really, in 6 months, if you go to once a week, a mastermind which I call real estate meetups in your town. There's a couple of them in Texas that go once a month. At the end of the month, you're meeting everybody. You're talking about, here's your business card, here's your this, here's your that. By the time you meet them again next month, or let's say they happen every quarter, by the time I run back into you, oh my God, man, hey, we met last time. How's things going? How's this? You should have something new to tell me. Oh, this is happening, that's happening. You need to learn the lingo of the people in the room. I was talking with a group of builders, and they're like, well, how much you building for square feet? And at the time I used to think, oh, they're trying to get me on square footage numbers. So they can say, well, my numbers are better than yours. At the end of the day, you look at the guy and you go, look, what does that matter? I'm building. Right? I made this much out of the sale. And what's the next conversation? And so a lot of times you need to be careful, but you also need to be comfortable with the common words of what people say in that type of industry, especially tech, any of this stuff. How do you carry yourself? How do you answer things? You need to be able to feel comfortable. Where do they hang out? Right? There used to be a accountant's happy hour, and me and my friend happened to go by it one day, and we're just interacting with everybody in the room, and they're just like, are you guys out of the firm? I'm like, nope. We just saw this happy hour and turned in. And so what happens is, I like certain cities because you can get away with that, just kind of showing up to different people's space and events. But at the end of the day, where do they hang out? What do they do? What do they talk about? Right? This is how you can have people who graduate from college. I have a degree in science to do this. And you're like, well, are you going to the associations? Are you going to the meetings? Are you interacting? Are you talking to recruiters? What are you doing? It's really, they want to give you the bare minimum conversation of like, I graduated college, I did the right thing. And they have no traction or footing in the ground for it to really make sense. Clothes. People say wear don't have that much money to spend on clothes. Again, whenever they have an event, they want to go to a concert, they find the money. So I'm just always telling people, if you're a man, it's the easiest. You can get 3 pairs of slacks, a couple of shirts, and you can rotate with some shoes, just some good cologne and nice hair. You're good. If you're a woman, I'd say, 2 to 4 dresses that are modest, not loud, not a bunch of prints, not a bunch of stuff, modest, one color. Also slacks and a top, silky brows, a couple of those, and you could be on rotation. You're a whole new person. And that's what you wear. That's your uniform, right? Because I used to tell people, that's my uniform. That's what I'm wearing. That's what I'm wearing. I had these really nice cowboy boots I used to wear all the time, and they were tight on the leg, but they were meant for, kind of dressy material stuff. But it's just like when I moved to Austin, I bought a bunch of orange material. Why? Who knew Carolina Pirates? Nobody. Carolina Pirates were local. Who doesn't matter? Put on Texas orange shirts, fit in with the crowd, talk to people in the area, make conversation. Again, communications is really some of y'all biggest gatekeeper, not people, not the city you're in, just how you operate. That's why I'm telling you, if you break up, something happens, you get divorced, you need to move across town. Get new environment, new experiences, new way of living. I remember I was just so excited about a house, and this lady was like, oh, I just got divorced and I just liquidated my house. I moved to an apartment. I'm so happy. And I wanted to look at her like, apartments suck, right? But she was happy because it was a new experience for her. So I was like, good luck. The problem is whenever we come into a season of life, we evangelize that a season of life and tell everybody. And everybody should want to do what we're doing. Hey, you guys, I'm doing this thing. You should do it too. And I'm going here. And so that's why sometimes 20s don't mix with 40s and 20s don't mix with 50s. And that's why you have those sometimes older men and older women who try to date younger people to get that energy and excitement. Basically, they're energy vampires, and they're trying to come up with new ideals. But you should be coming up with ideals for yourself and who you are and what you want to accomplish. New goals, new hobbies. Again, if you ask me on the social side, right? Because we can talk about systems all day on the business side. But if you talk about the social side, you're going to meet new people. I'm always going to say a church, just because group cooking classes, social hobbies, like when everybody wanted to learn pickleball all of a sudden, really it was just a way for people to connect and laugh and talk, learning a sport, CrossFit, any of these stuff, right? Book clubs. I've seen those come back with a vengeance, right? Organizations, Chamber of Commerce, Toastmasters, any large charity. I'm going to say United Way. That's just been my favorite in any new city I've been in. United Way has been my best buddy. But even on the business side, like there's business owners in Austin who would just create communities, dinner clubs, and it'd be just different people meeting for the dinner club on Tuesday nights or Thursday nights. People created meetup groups, right? Different meetup groups. I wanted to create one for golf ladies. and just see who came out, right? And see, schedule it for, twice a month for the next 6 months, just to see what was the turnout. And you may say, well, Erica, everybody's busy. Their life's so busy. Again, when I hear busy, that's an excuse. Well, you don't know my kids, but I hear you. We all got something. You have to decide how to build a balanced life, how to build an overall life that you can love and enjoy, and systematically do it. I'm not telling y'all, today, tomorrow, the next 30 days, every day of the week, you're going out. No, I'm saying schedule these things once a Saturday, once a month. If that's all you can do. That's all you can do. So then over the course of 6 months, you've done that thing 6 things. I'm saying, what if you could do it twice a month for the next 6 months? Now you're really kind of building that into your routine of who you are, what you do, how you carry yourself. All right. If you need drastic change, you need drastic change. And you have to determine where you're at and if you need that. So I hope this was helpful. I hope it encouraged you. I also recommend spend less time with hard-headed people. And what do I mean by that? I've had people like, oh yeah, 5 years ago you did this. And I'm like, girl, that was 5 years ago, right? You ever meet somebody that's older? You haven't hang out with them in a long time. I remember when, blah, blah, blah. That was the past. Again, I'm going to say this again. You're not obligated to be who you were 5 minutes ago. This is why when I tell people to do these 180-degree changes or 6 months drastic change in their life, most people are mourning the life that they're going to let go when they should be headfirst into the new life, new opportunities, new things to see. And as you change and your energy changes, people in your life are going to do 1 or 2 things. They're going to bring you back down to hey, we're just doing this. Just have a regular life. Just have an average life. There were times in business where I would be so upset. I'm like, what was all this worth? And my friend was like, it's just better sometimes to have a regular life. And after I talked to them, at first I felt happy. Like, yeah, that was a good conversation. And then I thought about it. I'm like, no, that's happy for you. That's not for me. That's not what I want. That's not what I want. And so you have to keep stacking, because sometimes you have to sell or be sold yourself on what you're trying to do. You have to sell yourself on you if you are who you say you are, right? I've been in events where I've done more than half the people in the room. But again, I'm not the person running the event, so I just sit back and listen. And I just tell people, what's the difference between you and that other person is they run Facebook ads. That's basically it. Somebody just knows what they're doing. They just have a better organization, or they just have 2 or 3 people helping them push the ball forward. If you're a one-man show or a one-woman show trying to do all these things, I tell people that is dangerous. Go pull 3 or 4 people, part-time, contract, however you must, to push the ball forward on your operation, your business, whatever it is you're trying to craft. That's why as you go into these new events and these new surroundings, these new organizations, these new clubs, these new places, these people don't know you. You could be a whole new person. That's why people try to move to Atlanta, move to Florida, move to New York to have this giant life change when they could just do it if they were confident enough right where they are. But again, some of y'all do need to move. It would help your life substantially. So look, I don't want to beat this dead horse. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a 1 in the comments if you did. Drop your city and state. Let me know if I can help in another way. This is your girl, Erica, Classic Con Blog. You guys have a great day. You've probably been seeing these commercials for Middleman to Millions course. What is Middleman to Millions? We're teaching so many people how to have service businesses. The upcoming year, one of the fastest growing businesses you will see are service businesses and digital businesses. Why is that? Because so many things need repairs, need maintenance, and guess what? We have a shortage of men and also women who could do things. Listen, I'm not the best with a hammer, but I know I can gather a crew of people to get things done, and that's what I've done with 2 of my service businesses. And that's what I'll be teaching if you check us out in the Middleman to Millions course. And look forward to us on the road with Digital Liberty Tour 2024. It's Erica Williams.